What is up, loud and proud crowd? I hope you guys are doing absolutely awesome today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little run in the truck. I just wanted to kind of show you with the GoPro mount the fact that the gauges are functioning. Obviously, only the boost one right now. And by the way, I want to touch on the topic of the gauges from last night. Our comment section has pretty much been very clean lately, and the comments that were there that were just obviously just constructive criticism, like, hey, by the way, I wouldn't do a transmission gauge, I would do a fuel pressure gauge. Those comments, I don't care. I mean, those are fine. You know, you guys are just trying to help out and give in your opinion, and that's totally reasonable and understandable. But there were some comments down there last night that were just man, this effing kid doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't need a freaking trans temp gauge. Stupid kid, just daddy's money, doesn't know what to do with it. Like, guys, really? Is that really necessary? Like, it's just sad when you see people just spit and just trash. Like, just at least use your brain a little bit before you leave comments, because some of that stuff is just gets so old. I don't even pay much attention. I just delete them, block them, and I don't even respond to those comments anymore. It's just so childish. So I am thinking about doing a fuel pressure gauge as well, but I'm trying to decide how I want to do that, because if I do get a system for my truck, like a FAST or something, but wherever you hook it up, if I do like a FAST, I think you do, or you can do at least, a fuel filter delete, and so that basically just, yeah, you delete it. So I don't know if the hookup's going to be different place, or how that's going to work, but I definitely will once I get this truck with more horsepower going and, you know, more stuff like that. I'm definitely going to do a fuel pressure gauge as well, and it's not going to be too hard to just, you know, mount it right next to the bottom gauge on the pillar, right next to that one, you know, on the dash. It's, you know, they come very, very easy to mount up as well, and all I do is stick it on the dash right there, and it's good to go. And also the trans temp thing, a lot of guys are just dogging about that, which I don't really care. I mean, you guys are just putting down your comments, like, I don't, you know, it's whatever. But the trans temp thing, I took note of that, and I'm thinking of a way that I can do it to where I don't have to, you know, pierce my PTO cover, even though you do it at the top portion. And guys, man, some of you guys are just hating on it. Yeah, so you guys are like, oh, this kid doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't know what he's doing, he just reads a forum and thinks he knows trucks. That's not what I was saying. All I was saying is I read forums, and I wasn't going to do it, and then I read forums, and guys are like, okay, if you're going to do it, all you got to do is pierce, basically thread the top half of that PTO cover up towards the top. You're going to thread it. You're going to take it off first off. You're going to take it off, and you're going to thread it, and then you're going to put the probe in there. And that way it's not below fluid level where it could have a leak or effect on that or something like that. But then, you know, yeah, of course, guys are just, you know, spreading nonsense. But, you know, I'm thinking about doing the NV4500 transmission coolers. And basically what that is, I believe they're basically 1 quart add-on little things that kind of bolt up to the PTO cover. And basically what that's going to do is it allows you to put a little bit more fluid to help with a little bit better cooling in your transmission. And then basically what those have on it as well is they have not only, I think, a drain plug, but they also have a probe threaded area where you can thread in a transmission temp thing right to the manual transmission, things that you don't have to tap through your PTO cover or anything. And not to mention, it's offset a little bit away from any gears or anything like that in the transmission, so it's not going to affect anything, and it's just going to give you a good reading on your temperatures, but it's not going to be in the way of anything. You're not going to have to put any extra holes anywhere or anything in the transmission, even though it's going to be it would be in a safe spot anyways. That'd be the safe route of going around it, to where, you know, if for whatever reason you didn't want it and you just wanted to go back to your factory PTO cover, you can just take off that add-on, put that back on, and then you're good to go. But the thing is, I'd also have to do the transmission fluid while I do that. And I had a guy down in the comments yesterday, and I'm just bringing this stuff up so you guys can kind of see how I'm coming with my reasoning and my, you know, my thought process. He's like, you don't want to change, this is how the comment sounded. It sounded really funny. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but he's like, you don't want to change out your transmission fluid, because once you change out your fluid, your transmission is going to start acting up, and it's going to start slipping and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not saying he's wrong. I just don't know what kind of sense that makes, just to drain your fluid, put your cover back on, and refill it up with the same amount of fluid. I don't know how that's going to damage your transmission. Maybe it could, maybe it won't, maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about, maybe he does know what he's talking about. I don't know. I just want some more insight on that. Do you guys think that changing out my transmission fluid is going to cause me any issues? Some people say it's going to cause an issue, and I kind of don't. I mean, I'm not going to say I know everything, because obviously I'm far from that, but I don't know how that could be hurting anything, because all I've heard is if you don't keep up on your maintenance and your fluids and flush it and stuff like that, you're going to have problems, versus if you do actually do that. So I don't know. All that aside, let me know down in the comments. You guys think I should just get those little, I think they're like 1 quart size add-ons. It's on one or both sides of the transmission, and then basically there's already a tapped threaded spot for the probe on those things, and so you don't have to actually tap anything. That's part of the factory transmission setup itself. Think about doing the fuel pressure. I'll do the fuel pressure, I'll do the transmission thing, but I'll do a safe route to where nobody has to worry about me damaging anything. So I'll get that taken care of, and I'll do it the way that makes the most sense to me. And I understand some guys are down in the comments, if it's a manual, you don't need a trans temp, you're an idiot, whatever. If I have it, why not just buy the little add-on things and, you know, get the trans temp thing in there so you can have it. You know, guys are saying even if it's a manual, when you start to run high horsepower, even if you have a good clutch, your transmission temps are still going to fluctuate a little bit when you're running high horsepower, when you're running it hot. So it's not a bad idea to have those little add-ons to help with cooling, and also it's not a bad idea to have a transmission temp thing to actually know what your temperatures are, you know, because just like anything else, it can run, it can get hot, and it's good to at least be able to monitor it. Whether something goes wrong or not, at least you can keep an eye on it. So that's the purpose of gauges, so you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. I was going to talk about interior for my truck. I posted on my Snapchat the other day, which you don't have me, add me up here. I asked on my Snapchat, should I do KingRanch truck interior on my Cummins? And what I meant by that was not obviously the dash and the steering wheel. I'm not going to do forward steering. I'm not going to do all that crap. What I meant by that is just the front seats. I had a picture on there of some KingRanch front seats. I would get front seats preferably and try to get the KingRanch front seats with an armrest, and basically delete the center console and just have the open concept in the middle of the truck, and just have the two big captain seats with the armrests on them of KingRanch interior. Now obviously it's not going to be a direct bolt up, so I'd have to have somebody fabricate, you know, the bolt up points to where it would make sense and it would fit and it would sit level and everything sit perfect. But the seats are the same dimensions, so it wouldn't take up any more or any less space. It would be the exact same size as my big seats in the front as of right now. They're both 24 across and I think 27 inches deep, and basically the bolt up points are about 12 inches and 12 inches front and back. So it's very, very close, but obviously the floorboards are a little bit different shape, so the bolt up points aren't going to be identical, and we're going to have like probably little steel blocks or something that looks good, fabricated professionally, and put on there so that we can bolt those seats up in there. And I would have cool leather interior, and then I have to buy probably leather skins for the back seat that aren't going to be KingRanch, but I'm going to get the best leather that I can that matches and wrap the back seats, because I can't buy a KingRanch rear back seat, you know, for a second gen that has a 24-inch wide bench and there's already barely any legroom. And then if I put a 29-inch bench, you're not going to be able to move your seat forward or backwards or anything. It's going to be way too cramped in there, and it just wouldn't be fun. I'll figure that out. I'm not saying I'm going to do it right now, but I think that'd be something that would be cool. So let's get to installing some new headlights on the Nasty Red. This truck obviously is set up pretty good right now in terms of lighting, and the headlights and stuff look great. These factory lights are incredible. I haven't seen a second gen with such clean and crisp factory headlights. What we're gonna do is swap out the headlights on this truck. Not the whole headlight assembly, just the headlight bulbs. And let me show you what I mean. So here are the headlights. These are the LED headlights. I will leave a link to these in the description below. Now my last truck, I've got aux beam ones in there, but these ones are different. I wanted to try these ones out just to see what the difference is in performance in the truck. So what we're gonna do, probably take out the headlight assembly. This makes it so much easier when working on these headlights. I would highly recommend just taking out the assembly when you're swapping out the bulbs instead of trying to reach down in there and fiddle around with it, because it just makes it a little bit more difficult when you can't see what you're doing. So I would just recommend taking out the headlights. It's pretty easy, and then just swapping out the bulbs and setting them back in there. So we're gonna get to doing that right now. Let me show you what they look like before, so you can get an idea of how much better they are after. So here's what they are right now. These second gen halogen lights, I mean, they look all right, but they suck. I will be honest, they're not very good headlights. Now these ones are a little bit brighter than mine were, but they're just not amazing. So what we're gonna do is get these swapped out, and hopefully you guys see just how much brighter these new LEDs are gonna be. Let me tell you something. They're so easy to stinking install, okay? I had this headlight out in probably, I don't know, 2 minutes. This is such a good system. The aux beam headlights, don't get me wrong, they are incredible. They work really well. But one thing that I did not like about them, and I'm just being very honest, one thing I did not like is the fact that you had to take your screwdriver and undo two tiny itty bitty screws just to be able to get this thing off, and one of them actually stripped, taking it out, and so it just made it a real pain in the butt to get it out, you know, to begin with. But this is so much easier. This little piece right here, which is just a no-brainer to have, a quick connect, just slides down in there, you line it up, there it goes, snaps in. You're ready to take your little, you know, this thing and slide it on there so it's gonna, you know, work for you. You slide it on right there, you take your piece, your quick connect, there's these 3 little teeth right here on the outer edge. You're gonna take this, you're gonna line it up, put it through those, and then you're gonna take your headlight and just kind of, you know, wiggle it back and forth, and then right there, that's locked in. Okay, that's good to go. Now let's go install this. This is a very, very, very easy light to install. Now if my camera doesn't fall, this will work out. Basically, you're gonna take this, because you see these little grooves here? Those little grooves right here, those have to fit on the grooves that are inside the headlight assembly. So you're gonna just wiggle it around back and forth until it lines up with those little grooves. It gets up in there. Okay, so those are in there. Now all you do is you take this with the 3 little teeth, slide it up onto the tracks on the headlight assembly, rotate that, and it locks in. You just plug this thing in and it's good to go. Well, this was definitely an easy installation. I don't know, 15 minutes total. Now, I did have a couple complications with this headlight, but that wasn't due to the headlight design at all, that, you know, the bulbs at all. It was just, I dropped the bulb, I shattered the bulbs, then I had to find another bulb that, you know, still had the turning signal effect on it. So I found the rear tail light blinker bulbs for this truck, since we don't need those anymore since we're getting the flatbed on it soon. I got those and I swapped them out so that they're at least both the same color. Now this isn't ideal, and we still are probably gonna have to swap it out eventually with you know, color flashing bulbs, the ones that were kind of like orange tinted that it had before. But you know, right now we don't drive the truck, it sits in the barn, I'm not too worried about it. We're eventually gonna get the headlights swapped out anyway. So anyways, let's just get the headlights turned on for now, and let me show you how bright these things are. Those are a very nice upgrade. You know, I might not even have to swap out that bulb, because that headlight's got a tint to it to make it a little bit different color. Man, that is a bright light. You can hear the little fan running, because those LEDs they put off a lot of power. They don't play any games, man. They're bright. So let me just show you that these turning signals do still work, of course, even though they're not technically the reverse light bulbs. I mean, they still work. So honestly, they're probably fine. I don't think anybody's gonna be like, oh my goodness, you have the wrong bulbs in there. We've got a list of stuff we're getting ready to get in on this thing, and we're thinking about doing 20 by 12s for the wheel and tire setup. Now what I'm gonna do for you guys is leave a link down to those headlights in the description below. Now some people might not care about the headlights, but honestly, they're bright and they were so flippin' easy to install. So much easier than the set that I put in on my truck. And so if I ever need to get, you know, LEDs for my next truck, I'm probably gonna go with that style. The quick connect thing is so nice. We got to test the boost gauge, make sure it works, and yes, of course, it does work. I did test it last night, everything's good. Gauges are pretty simple, you can't really go wrong. Recap, I am gonna think about doing the extra, the PTO cover, kind of you take that off, and then you put like these transmission cooler things, add on, so you can add on 2 more quarts of transmission fluid, I do believe. It helps keep things cool. And they also has a test port on it, so you don't have to tap your PTO cover or anything. And then your PTO cover, of course, you don't use your factory one anymore once you have those. But yeah, so all that stuff, thinking about doing KingRanch interior seats in the front of that, and then getting leather seat covers for the back. One thing I totally forgot to bring up in this video, I do apologize, let me try to find the papers. I did do the drawing this morning, so I do have the 2 winners for the stuff. I just did an electronic drawing on a website. Basically, I put in all the names as many times as they would have been entered. So if you spent $70, your name got put in 7 times. If you spent $150, your name got put in 15 times. Like, that's just how we did it. And then I just did 2 random drawings, select, and I got 2 people. So let me reveal those names to you. And I do appreciate every single person who entered in. Everybody's gonna be repping the Team Loud and Proud merch. Really, really appreciate you guys. Without you guys, this kind of stuff doesn't keep moving forward. And I hope some people can understand that I gotta make a living off this. This is how I make my living. This isn't just a hobby. YouTube isn't a hobby. It's what I put all of my time into, you know, on video, behind the scenes. I'm always working on this kind of stuff. If I wasn't able to create some kind of income from it, I wouldn't be able to do it at all, because that's how I'm able to do this every day. If I was, you know, out working another job, I wouldn't be able to do this near as much as I do. The first place drawing, Michael G. Not sure, I don't want to pronounce that name very wrong. Just wrote down the names because like his last name I didn't know exactly how to pronounce. Man, hit me up on Snapchat, Instagram, whatever. Now the way we're gonna do this time is you have to contact me and tell me what you ordered to enter the giveaway, because I had a person last time who, you know, messaged me, he changed his name on Snapchat, he messaged me, and this has happened a lot of times. They're like, oh, hey, I'm the guy who won the stuff, and they changed their name on the thing so it looks like them, and I didn't even think about asking, well, what'd you actually order? Because they didn't enter the giveaway at all, but they were just trying to scam me and get free stuff. So, Michael, you get the option between GoPro Hero 4 Silver Edition and an accessories pack, or any McTuning product that you would like to have. So definitely let me know. Maybe camera's more useful, maybe some lighting accessories for your truck is more useful. Definitely let me know. And then for second place, Tyler Allen. Tyler Allen, thank you so much for your support. You get to choose any McTuning product that you would like on me, and I will buy that for you. Make sure you guys definitely go down in the description below, check out those headlights, and also check out GlowShift's website. If you guys have any diesel or any other vehicle that you are thinking about getting gauges for, check out GlowShift down in the description below. Go to their website. Their stuff is very affordable and it's good stuff. It's worked very well for us so far. We've never had any issues with any of our gauges not functioning or not reading properly. So if it's worked good for me, I definitely want it to work good for you, and I would definitely recommend them. So go check them out down in the description below. Go check out those headlights, get yourself a set, join the team, join the family. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.